Hey you guys, it's Julia. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I use powder highlight. Now the reason I originally started using powder highlight is because I was trying to use up all the products that I had, and I happen to have this BareMinerals Glimmer in Opal. It's basically just like you can use it wherever you want on your face, but it's a loose powder. And it's an iridescent white loose powder. So that's what I'm going to be using today. Now the first step that I do is I tap the loose powder into the cap of the product. And I prefer to use a damp beauty blender or a damp beauty sponge for this. You can also use a brush. I would recommend a stippling brush. This one I use for blush, so it's pink at the tips. But if you dampen this as well, I believe that it would work. But I've tried this and it's a little bit more messy, and so I prefer a beauty sponge. I'm using the Real Techniques Beauty Complexion sponge today, and I will be using this more rounded side. I use this side for under eye concealer, and then I use this side for highlight. So I'm just going to dip it into that cap. Now I am going to talk while I apply it, and so I just will apply it to my cheekbone. Now, I dampen this with water. I just run it under the sink. You could also dampen it with any sort of like grape water or rose water or anything like that, MAC Fix Plus, anything like that, anything that you like to use that will help your makeup adhere to where you want it to go. And it also keeps it from absorbing any of the product that's on the sponge or the brush. Now, I am just going to tap this onto my cheekbones. Now, this highlight really packs a punch, but once you apply your contour and your blush, it looks a lot less noticeable. Now, I applied the highlight before I do anything else because there is fallout. By using a damp beauty blender or beauty sponge, you can minimize the fallout. Now I'm just going to dip it back in and do it to the other side. And also, if you apply this and then you apply your contour and your highlight and you want more of a highlight, then you can just dab some more on top of your blush and contour where you want it. Now you could also do this on your collarbones, on your cupid's bow. I usually dab it on my cheeks and my cupid's bow. Usually, actually, I'll take my finger and I'll kind of tap it into the highlight and put it on my cupid's bow like that. And you just kind of pounce the sponge. And you pounce it until you're just pushing it into the skin, and you pounce it until you have the desired effect. Also, if you're trying to use up your eyeshadows or any other powders that you have, you can always crush them with like the cap of a pen or something and make loose powder that way. It's a great way to use up the powders that you have. Just use the lighter ones as a highlight, more shimmery ones. Now, the reason I wanted to make this video is because when I first decided that I was going to use this loose powder as a highlight, I used a dry brush because I didn't know how to use it, how it would best be used to get the best effect. And it seriously just went everywhere. Powder was all over my face, all over my cheeks. And so I thought that I would make this video just so maybe to give you some more ideas, more ways to use the products that you have, and more ways to use your beauty sponge. And once you have the desired effect, I usually take my rose water, my homemade rose water, and spritz it onto my face. That just helps everything kind of blend together, and in these winter colder months when my skin is so dry, it helps my makeup not suck into my dry patches and accentuate the dry patches. So you should apply your highlight after you do your foundation and concealer and everything, but I would recommend that you do it before blush and contour. So I think that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you again in my next video. Bye, guys.